Hi, I'm Steve Spencer. I'm a partner at SMB Capital. We're a proprietary trading firm here in New York City, trading stocks, futures, and options. So today we're going to take a look at Microsoft, MSFT. Big news over the last few days with their deal with OpenAI. Kind of things got thrown up in the air on Friday, November 17th, when the board of OpenAI suddenly dismissed the CEO. So let's first take a look at the long-term chart on Microsoft, going back over the last year or so. What I've done on this chart is I've made it kind of easier for you to big picture identify, is this a strong stock? Is this a weak stock? Or is it somewhere in between? So what I did was on the left-hand side of the chart, I circled the price action. And on the right-hand side of the chart, I circled the price action. And what you can see is the circle on the left is on the lower left-hand quadrant, and the circle on the right is on the upper right-hand quadrant. That is a very strong stock because it starts out on the left low and ends up on the right high. So that's in a longer-term uptrend. So that's the backdrop of the stock that we're looking at. We understand that buyers are in control, bigger picture. It's been on an uptrend all year, and in fact, is making new all-time highs in recent days. And I highlighted this fact at the beginning of November, a few weeks ago, when I tweeted out, is there a stock that is acting better than MSFT right now, with a question mark? And obviously shared a chart there, and you could see the strength overall as it was kind of approaching the high for the year. As I mentioned a minute ago, the news came out on Friday. OpenAI board, out of nowhere, dismissed their CEO. Microsoft sold off towards the end of the day on that news. People were concerned what would happen over the weekend, Monday morning. Perhaps, a large part of what's been driving Microsoft over the last 6 months is their news with respect to AI, their deal with OpenAI. Prior to that, the strength of Microsoft was how well they've been doing in the cloud. Their cloud growth has been very strong over the last few years. Microsoft, I think now, is a $2 trillion plus market cap. But over the last 6 months, what has further accelerated the strength of the stock is this deal with OpenAI. And if all of a sudden, out of nowhere, OpenAI fires their CEO, perhaps people get a little bit nervous, come in Monday morning, sell the stock. Over the weekend, news kept on flowing out, and this looked like the CEO might be coming back. The board might be fired or might resign, and he would come back with his co-founder. And it turned out that at the end of the day, Sunday night, in the middle of the night, the board decided they were not going to bring him back. And Microsoft, this huge investor in OpenAI, invested, I think, $12 or $13 billion, said to the CEO, well, you have a job with us. You can start your own division here. The news flow on Twitter from the people who are in the technology community was quite positive. It was kind of, basically the consensus was heads Microsoft wins, tails Microsoft wins. They still have the OpenAI, the ChatGPT technology, but also, by the way, besides still having that technology, if the CEO is out at OpenAI, he's going to be working for them and perhaps bringing a lot of his senior staff with them. So Microsoft has access to their technology and also access to the human capital with the large group, including the former CEO, coming over. Now, having said that, I am not an expert in AI. What I basically said in the last couple of minutes is what I know about it. And for all I know, the large portfolio managers may decide, wow, all of this upheaval, maybe we need to sell Monday morning. And so here's a 2-week chart on Microsoft. You can kind of see my morning game plan notes. And the thing that you have to understand is I am not an analyst. I am a trader. I understand what types of news for certain stocks can drive large traders, large portfolio managers who are managing 100 million, 500 million, $1 billion. What is important to them, what will make them react, potentially increasing their position, decreasing their position. But then what I have to do as a trader is identify the important areas of supply and resistance and see how the stock behaves against those areas. And so right now we're looking at a 2-week chart, and these are the notes that I shared in our morning meeting. And what I said to our traders in the morning meeting was, look, the stock could trade down to last week's support. It can find buyers and it can bounce. In fact, that's what it did in the pre-market. And I actually was bidding into that support from last week between 367 and 368. And when the market opens, perhaps it'll be above the first resistance, 372, and I will see if it moves up to R3 to 375. And I'm prepared mentally to kind of play it in either direction based on, is it holding below support, holding above resistance, et cetera, et cetera. So let's drill down into a smaller time frame chart. So what we're looking at is the end of the day on Friday. What you can see is right at the end of the day, before the market closed, it bounced off of that 368, 367 support area, closed right at 370, but you can see people were shorting in the after hours. You could see the flow on Twitter, people saying, you know what, this is crazy, the CEO's out, people are going to come in Monday morning and sell. The problem is with that idea is you don't know what the news flow is going to be over the weekend. There's a long time between 4 p.m. Friday and 8 a.m. Monday morning. And in fact, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, there was a lot of news flow going back and forth. And at the end of the day, or at the end of the weekend, I should say, first thing, London Open Monday morning, Microsoft was out actually gapping up to a new all-time high in the pre-market here at the London Open around 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Stock was up above 378. Now, people took an opportunity to take profits there. They sold. And by the time I got to the desk this morning, the stock was already below 375. It got to the desk around 8 a.m. this morning. And you can see it was kind of trending lower here. This is just some bad prints. Ignore that in the middle of the circle. It was trending lower, trending lower. In fact, some people on the desk, once it got below 375 here at 8 o'clock, they shorted it and kind of covered as it came in $2, $3. And then eventually, even before the market opened, where I got long in the pre-market, was into that S2, S3 area. And in fact, when the market opened, was already all the way right back up at R3 before rolling over again. And what you can see is, and I tweeted this out, there was really good two-way action. What does that mean as a trader? Two-way action means it's setting up a good against support areas where you can get long. It's failing at potential resistance areas. You can get short. And then by the time 10:30 rolled around, it had pulled all the way back to 372, 373. And if we go back to the game plan notes, what you can see is after it ran up above 375, above R3 on the open, it pulled all the way back to R1. Generally, a rule of thumb is if we zoom in here, and I highlighted this on the chart, intraday chart, strong opening drive, heavy volume. If right on the open, a stock drives up from inflection all the way above R3 on heavy volume, much heavier volume than you saw in the pullback in the pre-market. You can see that very, light volume, decent for pre-market, a couple million shares. But right on the open, 3-4 million shares right on that opening drive. What I'm going to do is look to buy it on the pullback from R3 to R2, R1. And then at R1, I need it to hold there. And if it doesn't, I'm going to get stopped out. In this case, when it pulled back there to R1, 372, it started to turn a little bit, then pulled back a little bit, and then finally had a consolidation here that I circled for you with tight consolidation. And that was the best signal for potentially moving back up to pre-market resistance in the 377 area. And as I'm recording this video, in fact, it is after this consolidation, it broke to the upside, held above R3, and is coming into the morning high. Now, wouldn't surprise me either way. Maybe it'll fail here again at 377, come back down to 375. What would surprise me that if it rolled all the way back over. But if it starts to take out this morning high and hold, wouldn't surprise me if then we start to work our way back up to the pre-market high, 379, 380. And if it closes up there, probably looking at another new all-time high on Monday. But the most important thing you can do as a trader is identify the recent support and resistance areas and identify bigger picture. Is the stock in an uptrend or a downtrend? Is it more likely to attract more buyers or sellers? And be mentally flexible to go in either direction based on the price action that you're seeing. Hope you learned something. See you next time.
So you're an active trader, not doing as well as you want, not doing as well as you deserve, and you just can't figure out why you can't become profitable no matter how hard you try. Well, let me show you why. This is your competition. The traders in this room. This room right here is full of elite traders, some of whom are making 7 and even 8 figures a year. In fact, our top guys have made nearly 20 million each in net trading profits in a single year. Let's head to my office so I can share more. So you're probably used to seeing videos of lavish trader lifestyles, trading gurus trading off of a laptop for an hour a day, heck, maybe even 15 minutes a day, and then them relaxing on some secluded beach for the rest of the day. Well, all I can tell you is that our traders train like pro athletes. They live and breathe the markets and are continually working on their trading skills. Because at our firm, that's what we found it really takes to make it in this game. I'm Mike Bellafiore, co-founder and managing partner of SMB Capital, one of the world's top proprietary trading firms located in Midtown Manhattan. And we're always looking for trading talent to hire and develop. And not just to trade in-house on our desk, but also to trade from their own home, entirely using our firm's capital. And we have numerous traders doing just that, allowing them to make upwards of 7 figures trading the firm's capital without risking their own money. But to even get a shot at something like that, you need to have the right training. That's why we're doing a new free online presentation in which we share how you can get an interview with SMB to become an in-house or remote trader, trading firm capital without risking yours and gaining access to all of our firm's coaching and resources. And the best part, you don't have to be a profitable trader yet. In fact, we prefer to mold profitable traders with our methods and our techniques. That's why we have just 3 simple criteria that can earn anyone an interview. We're looking for highly ambitious and determined traders who fit our culture first and foremost. So if you believe that could be you, sign up for the free 1-hour online presentation by clicking the link that's in your top right corner of your screen now.